Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about our May 2024 book club pick, which you guys picked, A Fate Inked in Blood. This is an interesting choice. Also, I am outside. This has become like a new favorite filming spot. It's just very nice on our porch. New porch, brand new house like I said. But you will hear the nature, which is, the birds are very loud here and they definitely like to be in my videos. So anyway, you guys picked A Fate Inked in Blood. If you are new to the Lazy Book Club, this is our way to read books together, but not really be under any pressure to actually finish the book on a timeline. Yeah, I post about the book at the end of the month or the beginning of the next month, but because it's pre-recorded, there's no live show, you guys can read it whenever you get the chance. Or you can read it way ahead in advance because these books are announced a little in advance. Or you can read it like a year from now, which I do. I get comments on old videos talking about books from last year. So it's just a lot of fun. Now, if you comment a year from now, I make no promises that I will remember what has happened in the books, but you can, and I will try my hardest. But anyway, this is the Lazy Book Club, and we just talk about full spoilers. I go through and talk about everything that I'm thinking while I'm reading the book. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool format, and you guys, at least who are part of the club, seem to enjoy it. So we're gonna continue it for now. So anyway, as usual, I put out a bunch of picks, and you guys ended up picking this one, and it is like a weird cross of romantasy, but not really, fantasy, young adultish feeling kind of book when it's supposed to be an adult book. It's a very interesting feel of a book. But you guys picked it, so this is your fault, whatever happens. And this is a very, very popular release. So anyway, we're just gonna get right into it. There's really not a lot of introing this. It is just, let's get into reading the book. From this point on, there's full spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, definitely come back to the video later after you've read it, but this is full spoilers that we talk about, and a lot of times it will not make sense if you haven't read it because I don't give like play-by-play, blow-by-blow things that are happening. I just talk about what I feel like is important, so definitely go read it and come back. So with that said, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, make sure to comment down below. We will talk about everything. I love the big long comments talking about the books, and definitely give me your star rating at the end of the video. And yeah, full spoilers from this point on, so let's get into reading this book. It is about 7:30 at night, and my plan is to pretty much just read this the rest of the night, if I can force myself to do that. I actually am enjoying it. So, like I said, we're reading A Fate Inked in Blood. My copy is the Fairy Lit copy. I'm really glad I didn't buy the, like I was on Pango, and I was going to buy the copy from that was like the special edition copy, because you can't find them in all stores anymore because it's just the first print and run that has like the special edition, like sprayed edges and stuff. And I really like that cover. Like I like that cover and the sprayed edges like more than this. I like these sprayed edges more, but I like other cover better. So I am kind of tempted to go get a different edition and just get rid of this cover. I am glad I didn't get it because I wanted to get it about 20 pages ago, and then it's kind of turned a little bit for me. So I'm at page 116, aka beginning of chapter 13. So I kind of want to do it every 100 pages or less, depending on if there's more I have to say. I really don't have that much to say about this because I feel weird about it. I don't know how I feel about it. It is definitely romantasy. It is definitely romantasy, and I was actually really enjoying it until about 20 pages ago, when I feel like the focus of our main character has switched to Bjorn instead of on her family and herself and fighting. And yeah, so basically where I'm at right now, we have already gotten past Freya getting rid of her husband, which was amazing. I loved that. I also have a theory. She's already gotten her tattoos and stuff. She 1000% has also been marked by Bjorn's god. I don't remember which one he is. She definitely has been marked by that god, I bet. I bet that's why she was ripped in half. The two gods were fighting over her. And I bet if she tries to grab his axe again, she won't feel it. So I think she's been marked by both Hlyn and I cannot remember the other god's name, but the god of fire that has the fire axe. So I think she's been marked by two gods now. And I feel like that's pretty obvious, but that's kind of my guess of who it is. And the bad part is, I like a lot of it, but I don't love the romance. And it's because I don't like him. Like, I really don't love Bjorn that much. And I don't know if I'm getting older and I don't like the playboy like kind of character anymore, which I think I'm fine with. but he's just a little bit too annoying and too full of himself. Like, I just don't like him. I like him when he's fighting. I like him when he's doing stuff like separate from her, but I don't love that she's already kind of obsessed with him. I don't love that. I also don't love that the miscommunication in this is that she's married to his dad. I find that very weird and kind of uncomfortable. I'm a little less uncomfortable with it because of the fact that there was no consummation of the relationship and that she's not actually really married to the dad. She just signed a blood oath, but they're pretending to be married. It's still kind of weird. It's still kind of weird. And that is the miscommunication. Like, later it's gonna be like, well, I'm not really married to your dad. Little weird. little weird. I feel like everything else is kind of whatever at this point. Like, the part that I'm at, they had the big fight, which was kind of cool. I did like that part. And then we are now at the part where Bjorn is her, like, he's got to be with her day and night, and they're just starting her fighting training montage kind of thing. And she knocked him into the lake, and then he pulled her in. And that's, like, literally exactly where I'm at. I just don't like her ogling him constantly. Like, anytime he has a shirt off, he's wet. Anything. There's so many innuendos. There's so just much chatter about what he looks like and how hot he is. And I'm not interested in that. I just don't care. And so it's kind of pulling me out a little bit because otherwise I really, really like the book. And I feel like maybe that's why I'm so disappointed. Committing a lot of romantasy sins that I don't necessarily like. It's doing a lot of things that people who don't love romantasy complain about. And unfortunately, I'm not like the biggest fan of romantasy. I like my fantasy first with a nice romance in there, but it's definitely fantasy first. And it felt like that at the beginning. Like, until about, again, 20 pages ago or so, it really felt that way. But I don't know, once the training montage started, I just, like, wasn't impressed, and it started losing focus for me. But I'm hoping I'm just, like, a little jaded, and it's just been brought up too many times about how attractive he is and how angry she is already at him, like, really just showing jealousy. And I'm hoping we get past that part and I start enjoying it again, because like I said, it's only been 116 pages, and I generally have liked the book a lot. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm really trying to get as much as I can through this tonight. So hopefully I can get through at least another 100 pages tonight. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I'm about to put Below Deck on, so I'm thinking probably not. I am about at page 240. Switched out the actual cover for one of my book sleeve things, book jackets, because the Fairy Loot cover is white, and, you know, I'm not trying to get some nasty, greasy fingerprints on it, okay? I was starting to enjoy it more. Or I guess before we actually get into the update, I have had a long day. It's been kind of a nice day. It's been a long day. I had a job interview this morning. It was funny because I said I was going to finish this book last night. No, this is the next day. I read 10 more pages yesterday after I said I was going to finish the whole thing. No, it is the next night. I had a job interview this morning that was fine. It went okay. I don't know, like, how well it actually, I never know how well interviews actually go. I could answer all the questions. That was, like, the key. And it's something I did do a 6-month internship back when I was doing my master's degree, and it's what my master's degree is in, so I feel like that's a good sign. The only reason I haven't been working in that is because this is a position that is quite small. There's not a lot of them open, so they tend to be highly competitive, and a lot of people tend to want to work in them. And I actually was going to work when I, like, after my internship, I had a position open, but then my husband got his dream job, and his dream job paid significantly better than mine did. And his dream job was more of a dream job than this dream job was for me, if that makes sense. So I was totally fine with going with him and him getting his and moving to where we did. But now it just so happens that two of these positions, there was 2 opening slots under the same, like, job posting, and it would be really, really exciting if I could do that. The only thing that I didn't like is when I showed up this morning, I did not like the area that it was in. That was, it's not surprising. So my degree is in public health, and public health offices tend not to be in the greatest locations, because that's one of the reasons I like public health, is you're serving underserved communities. And so they tend to be in, lower income areas. And this one, I was a little nervous even. I was a little nervous. Normally I'm pretty like, it's hard to scare me with certain things. But even I was driving through this area and I was like, And that's after I had one internship in the center of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is incredibly sketchy. And this place made Winston-Salem downtown look like a walk in the park, breath of fresh air kind of thing. This place, I was like, if I work here, it will most likely, my car will be broken into a couple times and potentially stolen. So that was lovely to figure out. I loved that. That was kind of my biggest qualm because the building's older, but that doesn't really bother me. It had air conditioning. That's all I cared about. The people were so incredibly nice. And again, people in public health tend to be pretty nice. Okay, you get two sides of it. People who feel like they're getting an easy job because they'll slack off at their jobs, or you get like the nicest people ever who want to help people. Like that's the two extremes you get in public health, sadly. You wish it was just the one, but that's kind of what it is. But everyone that I interviewed with today is so incredibly nice. So I was very excited about that at least. So if I get it, I'll be really excited. If I don't, less chance my car will get broken into. But I will be sad. I will be sad. But yeah, so I did that this morning. It was really only about an hour of my time. And then I went to the library, dropped off some books and picked up some new ones. Couldn't help myself. And then I kind of just read. Oh, and we started the Lego. So my dad had I'm sure he'll watch this at some point. My dad had a Death Star Lego that my mom got him a while ago. It was like it's the really big one. And they don't even sell it anymore. We tried to look it up. And it fell while he was doing it. And he shoved it all into the box and has not touched it since. So my husband and I were like, I want it. Like we want it. So we've been working on that yesterday and today. So that's been a lot of fun trying to re-piece it together because he still has like the instructions and everything like that. It's just the pieces are all over the place. There's like chunks of half together things. And luckily there's still like, it looks like he got through, if you've never done a Lego, they come in numbered bags. It looks like he got through section 4. So section 5, it looks like, is where he was at. So all of that, 5, 6, and 7 is still totally bagged up. So that's nice at least. So once we get to that section, we have like a fresh Lego. But we have to get through 1 through 4 first. But I think we've gotten through 1 and 2, maybe, or just 1. I don't know. There's a lot of pieces. But anyway, I also did go somewhat book shopping, kind of. When I was at my parents' house, my dad ended up buying me some books, which I'm really excited about. And one of them is actually for both me and my husband. It's funny because I did DNF this book. Actually, it's really funny. I had an arc of this, and I semi-DNF'd it. I just wasn't feeling it. But I think it's a book that my husband and I will both like reading together. There's certain types of books that I like better when I read with him, and I actually think this is gonna be one of those books. So I'm really excited that I picked this up, and I'm just really excited. It looks so cool. Like, this is the coolest braid edge, but it is dreadful. I did DNF this just because it was a slog for me, but I don't think it actually is. I think it just wasn't in the headspace when I tried reading this for the arc. So I'm hoping I like this better, and then I will make an addendum to my NetGalley like rating so I can rate it more properly. So I'm really excited about that. This is about like a dread overlord who has memory loss, and he's trying to figure out like who he is and why he's evil, and he's like not evil anymore. So it's funny, but it can be a bit over the top sometimes. So I think my husband and I reading it together we may like enjoying it together rather than separate. And then this is so funny. This is so funny. One of my subscribers, who is like always on my page, so much fun always reading their comments. You literally just commented. Like, literally, I am not kidding you. I think you commented 24 hours after I bought this book, I think. And I read your comment and I was like, shit. Because you said that the ending almost broke you, and I was like, dang it. because I bought this already. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have bought it, or I at least would have like looked into the series more. And yeah, I didn't realize this was like an older series either. I just saw it and I was like, oh, this sounds really, really good. I'm trying not to look at Goodreads to like not buy things that are actually bad. Like I wanna see how I'm gonna react to it, not how Goodreads. Yeah, and that's find out this is an old series. And I'm gonna have to wait, because if I do like this, I want a matching series, and it says on Jennifer L. Armentrout's like site that the whole series is going to be republished. So I'm not going to buy the old ones. I'm going to have to wait for the new ones because I love how these covers look. And this just sounds really, really interesting. And I feel like it's just generic young adult. Like, that's all I know about it. And then I did get one from Pango because I was going to get this in Aardvark. The Aardvark books came out. I was like, okay, I'm going to get one of the main books because I was kind of interested in one of the main books, and then I was going to pick up this one, and then they were sold out of this book. So I was really sad. So I ended up finding it on Pango, and I ended up picking up Diavola because everyone and their brother is talking about this. Everybody is reading this, holding live shows, doing so much with this, and I thought this was like a mother story for some reason. Like, I thought this was about children. I don't know why, but it's like a haunted house story. So yeah, I've been not reading this for like all the wrong reasons. So I'm really excited to read this. And I've been hearing nothing but amazing things about this. And I feel like I'm in my horror era after loving Bloom. But anyway, back to the actual book update that we are here for. The part that I'm at is we, oh my gosh, when did I last talk about this? Our Freya, so our main character, Freya and Bjorn, separated from the group because they are trying to, I don't remember what they were trying to do. They were trying to do something, but they got to take her to a mountain now to make a sacrifice, or her life could expire or something like that. Again, don't really know. Sometimes I don't understand what's happening in the book. And I think it's because I'm not paying attention, because I'm like, my interest is waning so hard with this book that I'm just sometimes really struggling just paying attention to all the nuances. But her and Bjorn went off and went to a different way. Oh, because they couldn't, they were being like ambushed, I think, by another Jarl's, right? Like another Jarl's army, right? Is that what was happening? They had to separate from the group for some reason or another, and they ended up going through this mountainside. And I will say, this part was really interesting. They went through a mountainside, and the drow, which are like the undead, were going to ambush them. And that whole scene was really, really cool. I really liked that fight scene. That was really unique. That was very interesting and tense and cool. And I like how it was dealt with. I still think that, actually, I'm a little confused what I think now. I still feel like she's got power of the fire god, but also I'm thinking she's got power from shoot, who is, I can't remember any of their names. Tyr is the fire god. I'm still thinking Tyr is the fire hand that has the scarred rune on it. But now I'm starting to question if it's not the fire god and it's actually the goddess of the dead, whatever her name is. I'm starting to think it's actually her, because she invoked her name underground and in the temple, and the like underground shook. And that's why I'm curious if that's what like the fight was about, was like she actually was going to die or is close to death, and so the goddess of death marked her, as well as Helen marked her. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I kind of hope it's actually the goddess of death that marked her, not Tyr. I kind of wish that they had like a god guide in here, because they just bring up so many that I wish at the beginning there was a guide for the gods. I guess I could just not be lazy and look it up, but that's not happening right now. Anyway, so that scene was really, really cool, fighting the undead things. And then when they came off the mountain, them getting into the temple was pretty cool. And then some of the stuff that happened in the temple is when I started to like drift a little bit. Once we got back with Snorri, that's when my interest waned. I'm just so sick of him being in the story at all, and us talking to him about him, near him. I started liking Bjorn again more. Again, it's kind of waned a little bit now that everyone's together. I definitely think my favorite parts of the book are when Freya is away from everybody and just with Bjorn. And not even having to do with the romance. I don't really care about the romance. I just think her character is stronger away from everybody because she is just like, I don't know, like half the time I feel like she's just a limp noodle, and I get why she has to be, but it's not like the most fun thing to read where she doesn't have any choices and she's constantly being saved by everybody else. It's just not like super entertaining to me. I did like that we learned a little bit more about her power and that she can actually make like anything a shield kind of, or she can shield things. Like I'm pretty sure she shielded Bjorn by like covering his body. Is that what happened exactly? Sometimes the writing gets a bit confusing for me. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like some things are not described super well, where I'm going back a couple pages and I'm like, did I miss something? And like going forward again, don't know if that's exactly just me. So where we're at in the book now is we figured out that they came and burned Halsar, and we did have some survivors. Shocking, Leaf, the son survived. Oh yeah, and it's definitely, Bjorn's definitely working with the Nordalands, like very obviously working with the Nordalands, and the person who killed his mother is really going to be Snorri. Like, it's not actually the Nordaland guy. But yeah, we're now deciding that we're gonna go on a war campaign, I think. I think that's where we're at. Other than that, yeah, it's just waning my interest again. It's a lot of travel. Feels like a lot, we are rehashing a lot of things over and over again, which I've never liked in a book. I hate what I feel like is backtracking in a book, and I feel like we're backtracking a lot. I'm so disappointed because I really love the beginning of this. This had such a strong opening, like 100 pages, and then it's just bounced back and forth for me for a while now, and I right now it's sitting at about a 3. Like, there's nothing really special about this. I wanted such a good Viking book, and I just don't think this is the right one. All right, I have finished it. And I'm giving it a 3. I'm giving it a 3. This was not it. I just feel like it wasn't that good. Like, this one's a hard one. This one's a hard one to talk about because I generally just didn't enjoy it. Oh, I think he wants to go inside. He is not an outdoor dog, like at all, not whatsoever. You might see his head pop back up over here. We'll see if he comes back to wonder where I am. So anyway, yeah, finished this. I had what, like about 100 pages left? I don't remember how much I had. And I don't remember what I've talked about, but I definitely didn't talk about the major reveals, which we've kind of already talked about. Like, they're very obvious, that Freya has a second power, and it's Hel. But yeah, that was kind of really obvious. Again, it could have been Tyr after she handled the axe and he could have granted her a power, but definitely Hel made way more sense when she started like cursing people to go to hell. To the underworld. So that is her secondary power. That was pretty obvious. It felt like it was supposed to be like this, oh my gosh, reveal. It definitely wasn't. I do like that we got kind of the origin of how that happened. It was a little bit confusing. I had to read it like 3 times to try and figure out what exactly they meant. So she's got the split power. And then the other obvious thing was Bjorn talking about, is it Bjorn? Is it Born? I think it's Bjorn. Talking about how, oh my gosh, that is a huge wasp. Oh my gosh. The other part was Bjorn actually working with the Nordaland guy. I don't remember his name. And that, again, super obvious. Like, when you're raised by somebody that kind of turns out to be your family. The big surprise that I was kind of thinking was going to happen, but I wasn't sure, was definitely Bjorn's mother still being alive. I was really shocked about that. I had a suspicion, but now I'm like, okay, well, who is the Ash person then? So Bjorn's mother still alive. Very interesting. Don't know where they're gonna go with that. And yeah, Freya hates Bjorn now because of the whole thing, him lying to her, and apparently he did swear an oath to get her away from Snorri, which is interesting because that does add a layer of her being mad at him, because that definitely was him kind of aiming to steal her away. So I just don't care. Again, I feel like everything was so obvious. I think I'm surprised this is doing so well because it reads so young adult, except for the sexual aspects of it. Like, there is something, it just reads like every young adult book, fantasy book that I've read. It feels like such a generic young adult fantasy if you take out all the sex scenes. Once you add the sex scenes in, it does add a layer of like, it has to be labeled adult, but I don't think the writing is necessarily adult. So I just feel so weird about this one. I just don't think it was that interesting, and I hate stories that feel like they don't know where they're going. So like, they kept traveling and then ending up back where they were at the beginning. It just felt like we weren't doing anything. We weren't getting anywhere or learning anything, and it was just really frustrating. So when travel is a major plot line, I just tend not to enjoy the books. So this definitely got a 3. I don't have that much else to say about it because I feel like, again, it was super obvious. Like, I feel like there isn't some grand scheme, and I don't know where the books are going, like, after this. Like, I don't, is this a duology? Is it a trilogy? Like, there definitely is at least a second book. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's trying to find me. Hey. But he doesn't want to come back outside. So yeah, it's just one of those situations where I'm like, this could have been really good, and I'm really disappointed that the Viking book wasn't good because there's just not that many Viking books, and I just really wanted it to be good. I'm just really sad about it. So yeah, I really want to know what you guys think about it. Like, were you surprised about anything that happened in this book? Because I definitely wasn't, besides the mom. Where do you think the book is going? I definitely feel like she's gonna have to learn to control her powers, right? Because she can't just be cursing people. And then I guess first thing we'll probably do in the next book is talk to Bjorn's mother about like what's going on and the prophecy and like what she thinks it means. I don't know. I just don't really care. Like, I feel like I'm going to read it to see what happens, but if it doesn't do anything and it is a trilogy, I would probably stop at the second one or DNF the second one, depending on how I feel about it, because I just really don't care. Anyway, and I didn't really like the romance. I just feel so middle of the road about it. It really is just such a middle of the road book. It's that it definitely gets a 3. So I'm not gonna remember anything about this. I finished it like 2 days ago, and I'm having a hard time remembering what happened already. So this is one that is going to completely escape my brain by the time the second book comes out, which is not great. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys thought about it, if you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it way more than I did. I can see why people would enjoy this, but I was not one of those people. So yeah, leave your star rating down below. Let me know what you thought about the characters, the setting, the story in general, where you think it's going, basically everything that I've talked about. I want to know what you guys think about it. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Next month is The Raven Boys. The Raven Boys. That should be a quick, easy read. Like, that's a young adult, older fantasy. I feel like that's going to be a fun, quick read. And if we end up liking it, we could do a series along. I might do one where I read the rest of the series, but we'll see if I like it first. And yeah, that's everything I have for you today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you guys enjoy the June pick, and I'll see you guys in the next video.